Hello and welcome to Let's Run Facebook Ads, the podcast with myself, Nick Boddington, and my co-host, Matt Rubus. Here we're going to share insider information about Facebook ads. But as you know, it's not just about running the ad, it's what happens after. So we're going to look into the funnels, the e-commerce, email marketing, lead generation, and much, much more. Everything you need to run successful Facebook ad campaigns. Enjoy. Hello, my name is Nick Boddington, and today I'm joined by James yet again, second podcast in a row. Matt has decided to take annual leave. He thinks he needs a holiday. I thought it started on Monday. He decided to take it today on Friday. James very kindly has stepped in his place. Say hello, James.
Hello, everyone.
This week, it's like Carl Pilkington when you do that. This week we'll be discussing email marketing during the funnel process and why it is so important. So let's kick on in. Afternoon, James.
Nick, how are we?
Nice shades.
These old things.
So basically, we're acting like kids right this moment in time, because if you pick this up on YouTube, you'll realise that I've grown some really cool facial hair, which actually makes me look really not cool. And I've got a halo on my head, which is exactly where it should be. James has put on some really cool, 1980s computer game shades. A little feature from Zoom, which we've only just found out about as we're coming out of lockdown a year and a half later.
And we did only find it out because your son. So.
Oh yeah, that was it. Because he had actually gone onto a call with someone and made his face into a rainbow or something, and I didn't know that he'd done that to my call. So when James and I sat on Zoom, we found a new feature. That's it.
Yeah. That's entertained us for the last half an hour.
Yeah. So James is we thought what we're going to talk about today. And,
Matt's off, isn't he? Matt's off this week and next week, so you've got.
So you're going to hear James. That'll be 3 in a row from you.
Hat trick.
And you said you went on a call with someone the other day who came to our business because they'd heard the podcast, which is getting a lot of downloads now. So thank you very much, everyone who's doing that. And you said, I don't know if you lied about this, but you said that the guy said that he thought the best one was the one that you were in it.
Yeah, I was.
Is that a lie?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Of course it's a lie. Anyone that listens to the ones I'm on, either go, A, I can't hear you because you're on the other side of the room, and essentially you're not Matt.
But we've got some pretty cool tech here now.
Yeah.
i.e. we bought a microphone and a thingy that goes over the top of it, and we've actually brought them into screen so that if you're on YouTube watching this, you can see that we look like pro podcasters now in our home offices. I feel like I've got 2 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, which I did look at the other day, and there is about 4 views. So the downloads are great on podcasts. So you keep going, oh yeah, watch this on YouTube. The 6 people that have today will never know what we look like. They won't know the halo is above your head, and they'll just be listening going, bit strange, guys.
Yeah. In other news, before we kick into email marketing, we can now, I want to invite you to the Let's Run Facebook Ads group on Facebook. We're doing that now, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
We are.
I'm
so
even a member.
James is a member. So basically, there's not really anyone in there apart from us because it literally started on the last podcast and no one's done anything. I couldn't figure it out. Matt's going to figure it out. It sounds like we just can't do anything, which is pretty much the way it is. Luckily, we have people who do know everything and can fix these things. So I'd like to invite all of our podcast listeners to come into our Facebook group, where we'll have staff members who understand Facebook ads. We'll be answering questions and it will be administrated and stuff like that. And we can start building up a group and helping each other out, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to put Daniel, who does this podcast for us, he's going to put a link to that Facebook group into the description of this podcast. Go and join us, say hello. I know that we get questions off some of you guys and everything, so it'd be great if you guys could do that, and let's create a bit of a community. Right, let's get on in it, because that was a few minutes of talking absolute rubbish. Email marketing. James and I have had about 12 years background in email marketing. It was the thing that we've been doing. We still have a company that does email marketing. Well, doesn't it do email marketing? It sells email addresses, etc. It's a database company. That's where we sort of started off in this whole marketing thing. And we use that experience for our clients now. And we find it absolutely amazing how so little people you still use email marketing in the right way, which is incredible. And from an ecom point of view, we're always talking about it to our ecom clients because it gets forgotten about. It's very much more so on lead generation. So when you're running Facebook ads to create leads, sell courses, things like that, it seems to become second nature that you would send emails out to people afterwards and create a bit of an automation sequence to get people back in. It's forgotten about in ecom, apart from maybe Shopify has its own email autoresponder which says, hey, you left something in your basket if you've got someone's email address, and that's about as far as it goes. So it really gets on my tits how people aren't just, because it's essentially it's cheap, isn't it, James? Someone subscribing, you've got their email address, it costs like nothing, pennies to send these people an email to get them back into your funnel. Do you want to kick off on this area and go wild?
I can kick off. I think you've already kicked off for 10 minutes. So I think it's cheap. A lot of people spend so much focus on getting email addresses and getting clients. So especially from e-commerce, Shopify sites, people are using Magento, WooCommerce. They spend all that time trying to get a customer. And then what they forget to realize is that people, sorry, I can't take myself seriously. That's absurd. They spend all that time, don't they, trying to get this new customer.
Yeah.
But what they forget to realize is that there are repeat orders left on the table. And they don't use those systems, and it's so cheap. You said pennies. I think the average email cost now is like 0.02 of a penny
to send. Yeah,
it's absurd.
So break that down. If you've got 1,000 subscribers, how much is it going to cost you to send 1,000 subscribers?
About 2p, give or take.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, silly though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then,
email still works. Email still massively works.
Well, I was about to say, what people then also fail to forget is that email fails to remember. Sorry, wow, is that it works, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does actually work.
Yeah,
but they don't want to annoy people, and I think that's where a lot of the people forget. I don't think they forget that they aren't annoying people. There's brands that we have subscribed to recently. And they bombard you, don't they? Look at people like the White Company, Sport Pursuit that we both buy from.
Wayfair, who do all the stuff.
Wayfair, yeah.
House stuff. I think I bought, what did I buy from them? It wasn't that expensive. It was something for the house. I've just bought a house. It was something for that. And I get 2 emails a day. And I'm looking at stuff. I'm needing 2 lamps for my bedroom now. And it's Wayfair where I'm looking for those lamps, just because it's now embedded in my head. That's where I'm going to go and get them. That's what it's doing for 2p every 1,000. 2p for every 1,000 they send out.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit more than that, give or take, but it is very, very cheap.
You've got to build a data. You've just got to build a list, haven't you? Go on.
Yeah, but why do people forget about it? Like, why is that?
Do you think it's because there's more effort to write an email? Like when we've spoken to people and gone, our clients, and we're like, right, we now need to build you and we do this, don't we? We'll charge people for this. Because as soon as you say, you need to write 15 emails to do like an email sequence over the first, 2 weeks, they're like, 15, we've got to write 15 emails.
Well, let's break it down for ecom and for lead gen. So for lead generation, if anyone hasn't got an email sequence, they might as well just stop what they're doing, mightn't they?
Yeah. Because the thing is, go on.
Even if it's even if it's a webinar funnel, they want. Are you still giggling at my glasses?
No, every time you started speaking, I was speaking over the top of you on purpose.
That's right. It's because we got new mics. We're keen to chat. Yeah. If it's a webinar funnel that they're trying to get people into a webinar, are they going to send email reminders prior to the webinar?
You have to, but they may not do. But you're getting an email address. So I think the fact is when someone's subscribing from a lead gen point of view, what you're getting is their email address, aren't you? That's pretty much the objective of that lead gen. So automatically you're thinking, well, I need to send an email to these people. Now, from a webinar point of view, this is where Matt would be great at this because this is his field, but most of the webinar platforms will usually have an email sequence set up within it. So like, if someone's coming to the webinar, they'll have a thing of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever days before it, reminders that the webinar is coming. If a platform doesn't have that, then you need to have these in place to remind people of it. Because most of the time when people, I know that I'm really bad for it. There's probably a webinar every 2 weeks that I want to go on, and I sign up and then I've forgotten about it. And if I haven't put it in my Google Calendar with a link, I won't turn up to it. I'll forget. So that's really, really important. And thereafter, with our webinar clients, with the clients we've got for lead gen who do webinars and things like that, it's that sales sequence. You're going to get a percentage of people who are going to buy on the webinar, during it, or mostly at the end when you go into your sales pitch for like the last 5-10 minutes. Then all you've got to do then is rely on an email sequence, which might be like another 30% off the course or something like that for 5 days or whatever, with a countdown timer to create scarcity. Standard. We've done it in email marketing, when for our own products and stuff like that. It's all standard. People going to ecom, they're obsessed with the acquisition process of a new customer, getting that new thing. What do we call it? Low-hanging fruit.
Well, they also, I think they get a bit fixated with ROAS, especially in the game we're in, return on ad spend. It's constant. We've got clients at the moment. They're, one, which is the baby garments. I think you've spoken with Matt on before. We've gone through, so much testing with those guys just to get it to where it is now. And we only found out probably 3 weeks ago is that the email system that wasn't firing. Why have you changed now?
I'm now Zorro, which looks brilliant with my facial hair.
I go on, Nick. I'll plug YouTube.
I need to plug YouTube because we need some subscribers. Someone just go and watch us on YouTube. Let's Run Social. 7. Just go. No, it's actually Nick Boddington. It's Nick Boddington. It's me. Or Let's Run Social. Just go. Yeah. Go on, James. Carry on.
But it wasn't firing. So anyone that was adding to basket, they weren't then getting the abandoned cart emails.
No.
That had been going on for weeks. Even though the provider they were using had said they'd set it up.
Yeah.
How much money is left on the table for that? Thousands.
Stupid amounts.
But they were so fixated on the work we were doing in terms of how much have I spent and how much have I returned?
Yeah.
Now I flipped this on its head completely and said, well, why don't we look at, yes, the return on ad spend is it's important. It's KPI we need to look at, but actually one of the really important KPIs we need to look at are what is your cost per acquisition? And what is that cost? Because this particular product, they're going to come and potentially use that product for 3 years. Now, if this baby garment is bought in, the average order value is £40. Let's say they make an order every quarter. That's £160 a year. That's potentially £500 a lifetime value for that one acquisition of £20. That adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah. But their whole funnel process with that particular client you're talking about is the email sequence afterwards is probably, it's like one of the most important parts of their funnel because they need return business. They need people to come. All these businesses do. It's the most expensive part of any type of marketing or sales funnel is the acquisition process. The cheapest part is following up afterwards with an email to say, come back and buy more products.
Yeah, and especially when your product is built for repeat orders. It's not like you're selling a desk where, you buy a desk, you're not going to need one, are you? Back at home for a while. Or a phone, you've got 2 or 3 years, you're out.
Yeah.
Whereas, this particular product, especially, a lot of people selling into that sort of that infant market, they're built around repeat purchases, aren't they? Whether it's nappies, probably a bad example, but again, there's so much.
Yeah, and you can, if you're a big player, that Wayfair that we were talking about. What I think is really clever, and I know it's just the age we're in, the tech age, is that I'm going on there, I'm looking for like storage stuff for under the sink, trying to be clever with the storage and all this sort of thing. Lamps. you get the individual emails based on, hey, did you find what you're looking for your under sink storage, or did you get those table lamps you're looking for? And it's like, oh, this is so clever. And that's email marketing. That's not digital where you've got it. It's like email marketing. There's some serious sophistication going on their database in-house to do that.
Well, even yesterday I was on, because it's Mother's Day next week and next Sunday, I thought I'd have a quick look on the White Company, see how much things I can't afford are on there.
Splashing out. Not like you.
Well, the reason why, obviously, hence the reason I then got this email. You haven't purchased from us. Here are the items that you've looked at.
You've still got time to do Alibaba, yeah? Or AliExpress. Probably, if you go with it, if you find an item on eBay, you'll get it in like 7 days.
It'll be fine. We'll be fine. But again, it's not sophisticated. Like you said, it's not, this isn't revolutionary. This is just retargeting people that have been on your website that you've got an email address for. That's it. And again, it's so cheap. Why not just do it?
I think that when we're speaking to especially our e-com clients, it's like they've got a product. They like their product. A lot of the time it's a good product. They pay us to make their email, to do their digital advertising. It works. As soon as we say, let's throw this back at you, this is what you should do because we're consulting you at the same time. It's like they're having to do some work. And if they haven't already got a company that's already doing their email marketing or can think of it, blah, 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 I just don't know. It's weird. It's like they think that email marketing is an old thing now. It's what we all did a while back before all this digital stuff was around. But it still works like such a dream, isn't it?
So are you saying that it's not cool anymore? I
think so. It takes effort, takes time. They've got to write the emails. They've got to use their brains. They've got to think about it. I think they can be asked. I think, as a service from which we do offer, we do that. We don't really push it. But, I think if someone was to send out emails every day for 10 days after someone's purchased to get them to repurchase, depending on what the product is or whatever, I think they would see... Yeah, you're not going to see you get hundreds of subscribers. It's going to be hard to get it. You start getting into the thousands of subscribers and you spend £5 sending an email to them over a 2-week period, you're going to get some sales dropping and you're going to be straight up on your ROI. Because the thing is, because they ask us to do retargeting on Facebook. And we've had loads of conversations where I've gone, it'll be too expensive to do it. Oh yeah, but I've got all the, if you're collecting all the people who've purchased our product, can't we set up an ad campaign where we're retargeting the people on Facebook and get them to purchase more products? And it's like, well, yeah, we can. And there are techniques using a reach campaign, going to an audience. So if you, just to let people know how you do that, build an audience of your purchasers or lead geners, build that audience into the thousands, use a reach campaign, very cheap, objective. Reach isn't going out to a cold audience to find crap people. You're going to point the reach campaign objective to the audience of purchasers. And essentially the logic there is whether you use purchase conversion or a reach conversion, the same audience is seeing. So if they're going to purchase, they're going to purchase. So it's quite a good way to get your cost per acquisition right down. And with reach, you can say how many times in a 7-day period you want that person to see your ad. So it's a really good technique, but you need a decent volume. That's just how you set that one up. So you could do that, but then we're like, why don't you just send an email to the people who've purchased? Why are you going to spend Facebook money? Or both, yeah. Be omnipresent if you can.
Omnipresent, love that. But no, it's true. And it's frustrating because, again, you've spent all that money originally through, whether it's Facebook, PPC, or SEO, whatever you've done to get that original email or that original order. Use that. And especially if your product is, they're buying into the community aspect as well. If a couple of companies that we've discussed there, they're big boys, aren't they? There's no brand loyalty there. But when you've got, someone in like the baby market like this, or one client is, or even Robert down in Bournemouth, the pork crackling guy.
Yeah.
In a way, he's probably got a bit of brand loyalty there, against Snaffling Pig or, whatever they're called.
Snuffling, isn't it?
Snuffling?
Yeah, snuffling. I think snuffling sounds better, but snuffling. But
there is a bit of brand loyalty there. So use those email addresses and get those repeat customers because it's so bloody cheap.
Like for for the listeners to this podcast now, if they've got a decent audience of email addresses of purchases for however far back it is, and you're not utilising it, payday just came.
Well, just test it. Even a lot of people that have sent in questions to this podcast have been, small freelancers or small business owners, you can use MailChimp. I don't recommend it as a long-term strategy, but use MailChimp. It's pennies, if not free.
2,000 contacts free, isn't it?
Just you can draft an email pretty quickly, whether it's plain text or if it's more product led. You can just get it and just send one out and have a look and see what those open rates are. The reality is you'll probably get not far off a 10% open rate, I don't reckon.
We also need to touch on the point of people are going to go, well, how many emails should I send? How often should I send it? And this is a plan that's been going on for years. And we know some guys in email marketing or copywriters, Drayton Bird, who has written a load of emails for us, is a friend of ours. He's up there. He sold his first company to David Ogilvy, worked underneath David Ogilvy. They're friends, were friends. Amazing. And he has been saying for years and years and years, keep sending it until they tell you to fuck off. Because at the end of the day, if you've got 10% open rate, so that's 90 people out of every 100 haven't even seen the email. So send it again. Send it in the morning. Send it maybe that afternoon. You've got to, create a strategy around it. But you can't think, and the thing is with the email responders, your second email can exclude the people who opened the first.
I was about to say,
So why are you even worrying about it?
Well, exactly.
Just exclude people that have seen the first email.
Yeah, and a lot of these systems, I know we spoke about MailChimp, but there are other systems out there that you can, like you said, make little email sequences. Yes, they've opened it, great, they get sent this email. If they haven't, great, they say send this one again, or vice versa. It's really simple, really cheap and easy. Just set it up in a couple of days.
Yeah. You don't even have to go as sophisticated. Learn about it, start off basic, and then start going into. Some of the stuff it does get pretty advanced. When you're getting half the time. Matt's great at this sort of stuff, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, bloody hell, if they did this and they press that link, move them to this list and then that list, it can get really in depth, which is great, but you don't need to do that. Don't go into the system and go, oh, how do I use all these things? Just send an email, and then the next day send another email, and the next day send it, and just set it up like that. Yeah. So the minute someone drops in the top.
I'd say from e-commerce, there's the simple ones you need to have set up. You just have to, and whether it's using Klaviyo or obviously Shopify has its own, which is the abandoned carts.
Klaviyo is shit hot though, isn't it? That's the top one. That's the one I went to in Birmingham and I watched. I got invited to the thing in the mailbox. Remember? That was Klaviyo. That was Klaviyo.
Oh, was it?
Really, yeah. They'd done that and put loads of light champagne on and stuff like that. It was cool.
Well, they've done really well.
Yeah, they're big
but again,
now.
It's a very good system, yeah.
They're in that spot. They tried. That was when Shopify first sort of sacked off MailChimp, and Klaviyo sort of filled their boots, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done very, very well. But again, it's a great system. So abandoned carts, once someone's purchased, those two really are the key ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
And when you've got new products, you obviously got different seasons, like Mother's Day. Look at, our jewelry company that we deal with. We've never spoken to Anna about this, but do you reckon she's sending emails? I would suspect so. She's got a very large following, hasn't she, on social now? Her.
Yeah.
For a small business for a small business like her, having the volume of orders she does, there's a lot of brand loyalty there. Huge amounts.
Getting a 9 ROAS now on that one campaign.
Really?
Might drop. Yeah. So that was quite interesting, actually. So we set up a campaign for Mother's Day based on jewellery that, would be nice as gifts. Some of it a bit cheaper, a bit more expensive, whatever. Just, we put a little bit of thought into the sort of product we'd like to promote. Well, the girls did anyway. I sort of step away from those clients in a way because the girls on the team just write such better copy and, it's their interest, isn't it? It's like you with cars and motorbikes. You'd be the best person for the job choosing, writing the copy and ads for a bike manufacturer. So
for those that are listening, I have no interest in cars, bikes, not one bit.
The huge amount of sarcasm was in my voice.
Yeah.
Probably done so well you didn't even notice sarcasm.
I didn't really, no. Well, I want to make it,
absolutely clear that you don't need a car to make it look like you've got a big, like that.
Yeah, you get it.
So no, we've been going to Mother's Day stuff. CBO tested some different audiences. We had 7-day stack audience, which Matt loves. So guys, if you want to do some retargeting, basically Matt created something called the 7-day stack, which is create an audience for website visitors in the last 7 days, Facebook page likes or engagement or whatever in the last 7 days, and the same with Instagram, and then pull those 3 audiences together and use that and retarget your ads to those 3 audiences. And Matt works so well. All the campaigns we use, it works so well. But anyway,
Nick,
I haven't finished yet.
What I was going to say is, if you compare that 7-day stack to an email marketing campaign, what's the difference?
Same thing. Those people are warm, engaged people.
Exactly.
And they're buying, and it's coming through. That's coming through at like 5 hours for her. And the one that was winning was 5%. It was a 5% lookalike. So, 2.5 million people in that lookalike. And it was running at like 9% on a 9 ROAS compared to the other 4 ads in that CBO. And so I was on it with Faye yesterday, and I said, I tell you what, bit risky, because we don't want to mess it. This client, it is a client that started with her spending 10 quid a day. She's now spending like 130 quid a day. We're very, very gradually growing it, making sure that we're always, as long as it's above 3 ROAS, she gives us reins to sensibly scale. So I said, well, the audience is big, it's 2.5 million people. Rather than turning it off, I just want to pull out that one audience getting 9 ROAS and sit it in its own separate campaign. So we've got the one campaign that's working, which is Mother's Day stuff, and then we've got another Mother's Day stuff one, which is just that testing that one ad. So it's been on for 24 hours, 48 hours, 9 ROAS on its own, going to the same audience. So yes, it's duplicating this. Both campaigns are going to the same audience, but it's big enough. So an answer to anyone who was thinking in the past, if you've ever thought, I can't have different campaigns going to the same audience, you can. You've just got to make sure the audience is big enough. You're not flying through budget. The budgets for this is £100 on one, £30 on the other. It's not, there's enough. 2.5 million is enough. And we've only got until next week to run it. So that's working really well. I mean, 9 ROAS. She's used to like 3, 2.5, 3, which she makes good profit on. But 9, she's into the 3s, 5s, and 9s now, which is absolutely amazing.
But again, if you look at that 9x ROAS, 9 ROAS on that.
I like 900%. I like 900%.
I know you do, but let's just, for simplicity, say 9 ROAS. With that email, it's all profit, apart from your 2p here and there.
Yeah, completely.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. She could possibly at the stage now where we need to sort of maybe discuss whether we do it for her and whether it's worth a test. We could do that. If we took it all off our hands and said, look, we can do this for you, it's just going to cost you X to set it up, it's worth a test, we think it could work, then it's another thing we could do for her, I think.
But again, it's pure profit. Again, what people need to realise is that they spent all that money, whether it's with us, another agency, whether it's, by themselves on Facebook, PPC, whatever. They spent all that bloody money getting a customer, and then gone, okay. I described it on our morning call yesterday of, you ask a girl for a number and then you don't text her. What's the point?
Yeah. We always text, didn't
we? You've got to use them if you've got them, and especially if it's just pure profit. If you're not retargeting them in any other way, it's just email. Again, if you looked at MailChimp, you have 2,000 contacts. That's free. That's all it is profit. Apart from your time of writing an email and clicking send, all profit.
And you know what, James? If your products are always the same, you'll never have to write those emails again.
Well, it becomes evergreen, doesn't it? It just
completely
stops.
Forever. The same as lead gen, because you're selling one course or something. Yes, you'll try different emails and different subject lines. It's not as easy just to create the best one straight off. You're going to test things around, but more so in ecom, because those emails don't need to have loads of written copy in it. It's more just a standard template in Shopify or the other ones, and you just insert some of the pictures. If you've got loads of traffic, you could bake it, you could be a little bit more sophisticated, basing it on what they looked at on your website or where they visited or what they ordered. But yeah, just say, hey, we saw, just get them on. Just keep, the minute they give you an email address, email until they purchase or fuck off.
Because it's not like it was 10 years ago, when we really started with this email journey. And people didn't have smartphones, did they? There was only a percentage of people who had them. So nowadays, when you're sending an email, especially from an e-commerce point of view, back in the old days, plain text used to work sometimes better, even for e-commerce. But now everyone's got a smartphone, and when you open up your emails, it suddenly shows the images. You don't need to click the bottom of your email, show download images. Again, you don't have to sit there, what do I put in this email? Whack some images of your products on there, simple text, and just press send. It's it's not rocket science, is it? And yeah, you can get creative long term with different subject lines, plain text against PDF, HTML, absolutely. But right now, just set an email up and press send, and then watch the money flow in.
Absolutely.
Everyone will do it now, and tomorrow I go, don't get any orders from
that. 2 weeks' time, I haven't got any.
Yeah.
At least you tried.
At
least you tried, and you won't lie in bed going, what if? What if I did text that bird?
Yeah. What if? Yeah. But just email. It's very important to remember to utilize that asset, and it is an asset. It's a massive asset.
It's one of the biggest things, and even if you wanted to sell your company, it's one of the biggest things. That's the most important thing. A company will buy you based on your clients. That's what they're interested in. And if you've got, we don't need to. I think we've drilled it in now. So moral of the story is use email.
Use email. Just don't forget about your email list.
No. So should we get dressed up next time? Do we do this all the time now? What about client calls? Should we go on client calls like dressed up like this?
I'm quite a big fan of these glasses, to be fair.
Yeah, I've got used to them. I've gone for Zorro in the whole like facial hair thing.
The problem with yours is because your hair needs a cut, like a serious trim.
Oh, you can see it coming out the sides.
So yours looks really fake, whereas I just look cool.
Oh, so you don't think yours looks fake? You actually think they're real sunglasses?
No, of course. You look like the governor of Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, as if you watch The Walking Dead now. Oh, you're only on that, so you're on like season 3. So okay, right.
Email.
Watch us. Use email. Watch us on YouTube, so you can see what all this fun we're having, and we can get our subscribers up from like 4.
But people are listening though, which I have to say.
Yeah, look, we had 2,000 yesterday. I got my alert.
Yeah, I am still quite taken aback.
And I think Lucy had texted on our Let's Run Social group yesterday that we are second under Facebook on Spotify and second...
No, it's Facebook ads.
Facebook ads. Facebook ads, we are second. Yeah, so next it's Facebook, and then the holy grail for 2 years' time is going to be marketing.
Well, let's be honest, Nick. If they need to get better than this one.
They will, because people like listening to us. I just want to plug the group again. Go into the description of this podcast, subscribe to our group. We'll let you in with your request, and we can answer questions in there. It'd be just great to get like a proper Facebook ad community going where we can all share ideas, ask us questions, our expertise, share things with us. The thing that Matt and I were talking about the other day, like you forget, you find a little role with what you do, and you do it for your clients because it works most of the time. The same sort of strategies work, which is great. But it's great when someone tells you about something and you're just like, oh my God, I haven't done that for ages, and you try it out and it works.
It's quite nice when we listen to you and Matt. You've got an idea of what you're doing with some clients, and then Matt's like, actually, I'll try that for mine. That's where we want that Facebook group to be, don't we? Someone's having an issue with their pixel, or someone's had an absolute stormer with their own ad account or a client's ad account.
Yeah.
Again, changing the image. And we want to be able to help one another.
Yeah. Exactly.
Use email marketing. Don't be ignorant. Use it. Second of all, be one of the 4 in our group, please. Everyone.
Yeah, go on. Everyone sign up. It'd be awesome.
And actually, Nick, we'll actually tell our first guest on the extra cast.
Yeah.
Is Theo.
Yes.
Theo has been confirmed, who is a client of ours, and he runs the marble company that Nick and Matt speak of. And he's coming on the 19th. So that'll be ready for the week after. The week commencing the 25th.
He'll actually drop some proper value bombs as well, I hope, because he actually last year, 2020, he won Santander's Entrepreneur of the Year.
I don't know about this. I was quite shocked and taken aback when you said that. So I know you and...
Well, he listens to our podcast now, so he'll bring it on and show it to the screen. It's something like that. It was.
He'll tell us.
I know he'll tell us. It was something along those lines. He's probably listening now, going, "I wish it was Entrepreneur of the Year." But I know it was something. It was pretty. The Santander one. It's pretty cool.
Yes, the week commencing the 22nd. That will be live with myself, Mr. Boddington, and Theo. And again, that'll be on top of the one that the intelligent one that Nick and Matt do.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty.
Where we don't take the piss out of each other as much.
Well, Matt's nice, isn't he?
Yeah, articulately nice.
Articulately sounds good and smells good. For both, actually, I'll tell you a little story for those that are listening before you. Which there is more now.
No, there's loads now, but they might have logged off. But some people find this funny.
So Matt, when he first came and joined Let's Run Social, he walked in the office, and I turned to my colleague Vicky, and I was like, "God, this guy smells good."
He was wearing Creed Aventus.
Yeah, he just smelled. He looked the part, and he smelled. Oh, God, this guy.
So when I wear my Creed Aventus, do I not give the same effect to you?
No, you don't wear it as well. Because when you come in your jogging bottoms and your sweats.
Yeah. Okay. If I was smartened up.
Well, yeah, potentially, but you're trying now, aren't you? You're trying too hard. That's just Matt's.
Well, I spray stuff on every day. I try to smell good, but
I've got deodorant now and again.
Yeah, it's the appearance now. It's this whole like working from home really all the time. It's just like joggers and hoodies just feel so good, don't they?
I still put jeans on in the morning.
Do you?
Yeah.
I won't wear jeans in the house. I hate it. So uncomfortable. It's like the minute I walk into my house from being out, if I haven't decided to go out in joggers, is straight off. First thing I do is walk upstairs, take them off.
Or jeans. Alternatively, the trousers I sent you on email the other week, which you emailed me this morning about. Unbelievable. Game changer.
Shout out to Fabletics.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. You might have to get the email up, but they're unbelievable.
Smart. They're kind of smart though, aren't they? So it's like I saw those as a bit of like a summer smart cash trouser. Could you wear them? Could you put a shirt with them, or would it be a smart t-shirt or something?
No, you could wear a shirt with these ones.
You could?
Honestly, and they're waterproof. I was actually doing the garden with them. I was cleaning the bikes on Saturday, and as you do, it's got the hose out, and honestly, they're waterproof, so I just come straight off. Genuinely, I text you saying game changer. You need to get some of these now.
Yeah, I'm going to order some. See how they are.
Yeah, a 32 is quite large though.
Oh, is it?
Like massive.
You'd actually go down in size, would you?
I'd probably go for a 30 waist.
What about the bulge area? I'm going to have problems there though, aren't I?
We're not going there. Right, so use email marketing.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's listening now. I doubt they're listening. They're probably switched off.
No. Right, how do you want to end this?
I can do all this. You just say bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the next
podcast.
Right. I'm closing it down now. Thank you for joining us again today. If you want to find out more, please head over to our socials at Let's Run Social, where we share daily content. And please feel free to drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you, and any questions that you would like answered, we can do that here on the podcast.